What's up, my people? What's going on this afternoon? How's everybody doing? So the name of this video is going to be Northeast Worm Bin. This was a bin I started fresh. Took the worms that were in here and I actually moved them to another bin and I started a new bin. I posted a video of unboxing the Northeast worms and everything was good. I was very happy with the worms that I received. But we're going to take a look at these worms. So right from the start, if you like the video, subscribe to my channel so you can see the content I'm putting out. You can see where this bin is going. And any other content that I'm putting out. So I appreciate you coming back and watching the video, and hopefully you find the content helpful. So I'm learning something each and every time that I'm doing things in my bins, checking my bins, looking at the bins, from my bedding to what I'm feeding them, how I'm feeding them. So it's all a learning experience. So first of all, I don't know if you guys can see it, okay? There's a lot of holes coming out of my bedding, okay? And let me see. This bin was done on 12/1, the day I got the worms. Like always, I made my bedding ahead of time. I put the bedding in the bin. It probably was in there for about 4 or 5 days from the time that I actually ordered them and they showed up at my doorstep. So if you look at this, you'll see a lot of holes. And usually red wigglers do not make holes like that. And I had someone ask me one time when I was showing the worms, and they said, boy, those worms look pretty big. And I was concerned about that also, that the worms were pretty big. So I wasn't sure if I got a mixture of worms or I got night crawlers or African night crawlers or something like that. But I think there might have been some mixed of worms in that particular, because I never seen my red wigglers make holes like this. Only African night crawlers and European night crawlers make holes. So there may be some in here. But what I'm excited about and what I'm most happy about is there are cocoons throughout here. The last time I actually checked this bin, I probably took out about 25 cocoons and put them into another bin. Without even mixing this up, I already see quite a bit of cocoons. I'm not going to take them out at this time. But what is the difference between this bin having so many cocoons in it and my last video that I did? I was talking about what's going on with the bin, why I don't have cocoons. So I asked people to give me comments on what do they think the problem is, what do I need to do. This bin was not set up any different than I do all my bins. Bedding was made the same, cardboard, newspaper, alpaca manure, and the peat moss. So nothing was done different about this bin. The only thing I could say is different are the worms. Maybe there was more mature worms in this particular bin. But I will say the cocoons that I see, do look like red wiggler cocoons. They're not big, they're not round, they're pear-shaped cocoons. So I'm very happy to see that. All right, but I'm just curious on why I see so many cocoons in this, and I took out about 25 cocoons, and just looking in here, I probably sitting in the surface and a little under the surface, I probably could pull out probably another 25 cocoons. But I'm not going to do that at this time. So we're just here to check in and talk about the Northeast worms that I actually got from Northeast. All right. So, but once this settles again, if I open it up and there's a lot more cocoons on top, I will take them out and put them in another bin that I like to populate a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see how these worms are doing. Everything looks good. It's dark color, so that tells me there's good moisture. I mean, you should be able to look at your bin and know if your bin is running dry or not and need to spray any water on it or add any water to it. But this particular bin looks extremely good. So I'm very happy with that. Okay, so let's kind of mix it up and see what we got. Yeah, that's good moisture. I mean, there's clumps of worms. I mean, there's worms all here throughout this. And this bin had probably about 6 inches of bedding. So yeah, there's worms all through this. It looks good at the bottom. Good moisture. Oh yeah, good moisture. So I just like to go through and pull from the bottom to the top. I mean, like this particular worm, he looks pretty big. This worm looks pretty big, but how I know when they start to stretch out and kind of try to go back under the bedding, they're nice and long. But like I said, I'm seeing plenty of cocoons here, so I'm very happy with that. But Northeast worms so far are doing a great job. They're staying alive. Excuse me. They're looking good. They're making good work of the bedding. And what I will do with this particular bed, I would say it's not ready yet. And when I did this particular bin, it could have had a little more than 6 inches or anything like that. But right now, there's probably about, I don't have a mark in this particular one, but it's a little lower than 6 inches. But it's looking good, good moisture. But I'm just curious. I mean, some of these worms are, I mean, that's a nice fat worm. I'm wondering if I did get some, I mean, look at that boy. He's a nice fat boy. You know, that to me looks like maybe an African, you know, adolescent African nightcrawler. He's pretty big. I mean, because just look at the difference between these particular worms, and let's say that worm, and even this worm that's a little longer. I mean, you could see that. He's a little fatter. So I'm just kind of curious. Here's another one that's pretty fat. I know the bedding I'm using, they're constantly eating the bedding. So they're going to get a little fat. But I'm just a little curious on that because I do see the holes where they're coming out. So, but that's Northeast worms. I was going to contact them and talk to them about it and see if maybe there was a little mix-up. But but I never did. I just figure I'd let it go and see how they do, and they've been doing great, so I'm very happy with that. So I know with the weather right now, he might not be shipping out any worms, but there is a company here in Connecticut where I'm from that actually does sell worms. So I did contact him to actually come up and pick them up instead of actually having them ship them to me. So I probably will do that. But these bad boys are looking good. So, but got one trying to get away. But as you see, they're dancing on top of the soil, on top of the bedding, you know, trying to burrow down, get away from the light. So that bin looks good. I'm happy with that. And Northeast Worms came through with some good worms. But I think there's a mixture in there. So, but once again, this is New Era Gardener. I just wanted to give an update on Northeast Worm Bin that I started over from scratch. This was a new bin, new bedding, and I put all the worms that I received from him in this particular bin, and they're doing just great. So I'm very happy with that. So, all right, this is New Era Gardener. Thanks for watching the video. And once again, I'll just ask and I'll just say, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you see the content, so you can see this bin when this bin is completely finished and ready to be harvested. All right? So enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Thanks.